Ain't about what you have lost now.
The floor is yours.
All right. Well, actually, I'd like to reserve as much time for questions as possible, since I've been in office now for 4 years, and so many of you have seen the policies that I've worked on and my voting record. So I wanted to give as much time for that. But just very quickly, my name is Jane Kim. I serve on the Board of Supervisors. I represent District 6, which includes the South of Market, Mission Bay, Treasure Island, and the Tenderloin. I represent a very interesting district, a district that is absorbing much, in fact, the vast majority of the residential and office development in the city. I represent the poorest residents of San Francisco. I now also represent the wealthiest zip code as of this year. So a lot of real challenges in representing the district, but something that I really enjoy. The policy areas that I probably have spent the most time around is land use and planning, particularly around affordable housing. We all know that this is an incredibly huge issue for the city of San Francisco, is who gets to live here and who gets to afford here. And that's something that I continue to push, especially since a lot of development is happening in our district. Second area, spend a lot of time on pedestrian safety. District 6 has the highest percentage of collisions between pedestrians and vehicles in the city. San Francisco has the highest rate in the state of California, so we have a lot of work to do. Introduced Vision Zero earlier this year about reducing traffic fatalities down to zero. In fact, more people were killed by cars than by guns in San Francisco last year. Third area, spent a bit of time around the issue of homelessness and how we can reform the system in terms of how we provide services. One thing that I'm really interested in is figuring out how we can have a more public health bent and perspective in addressing homelessness versus treating it as a purely economic issue. Having spent time in our shelters and working with a lot of folks that come in and out of homelessness, economics is one of the reasons why people are homeless, but often it's because we're not addressing a lot of the health needs, whether it's physical or mental. And so I've been working with DPH to open a 24-hour medical respite shelter in our district, so that there's a space where people can get 24-hour access to nurses and counselors, and also getting nurses in our shelter system, which we currently don't have. And actually we're going to be able to launch that shortly in a couple of months, and be able to provide services on site to where people are at. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Any questions?